Okay, hi. We're going to work on the dog ball single stick. So one of the advantages about using the single stick as a training tool is that it's a cheap entry into historical European martial arts. But even then, when all the tools should be is a stick, you still need to do the basket. And the basket, depending on who you buy it from, can be anywhere between $50 and $90, depending on how fancy a basket you want. So again, I didn't come up with this. I just saw it on the Facebook HEMA Hacks page, and I thought I'd document it because I think a lot of people would be interested in it. Because it's easy. It's incredibly easy. But the question is, how do you do it? So the first thing is you buy yourself a Jolly Ball, Jolly Pets 6-inch diameter ball. And Jolly Ball makes a number of different products. Some of them are made of a similar material as this, some are made of hard plastic, and it's really hard to tell, obviously, if you're buying this remotely. I bought this off of Amazon. It was $11. And but you want this one with the handle on it, and it'll say Jolly Ball on it. So, and again, it's kind of soft. They have a version, if you just saw the ball, it's a hard, solid plastic ball. They have another version which has a rope all the way through it, which would probably work, but this is the one that I think it works the best on. And I've bought a couple different products and had to return a couple different products to do this. So anyway, this is your core product, 6-inch Jolly Ball tug and toss tool. And these may be at your local pet store. So go ahead and take a look there first. So the question is, like, how do I figure out how I'm going to fit my hand in here? Okay, and how big a hole you want out of this is totally dependent on, sort of how big your hand is and sort of where your play is. One suggestion I've heard is you can just take this piece and trace around it, and that is probably pretty good for a lot of people. I'm going to make my hole a little bit bigger than that. So I'm just going to take a Sharpie. And I'm going to make my hole a little bit bigger. As I go around here, this doesn't have to be perfect. And wow, look, that wasn't perfect. Okay. And for this, and I think this is the first time I've done this. I heard this as a suggestion, and I think it's a really good one. I didn't even think about it the first time I made one of these. I think I just used some sort of string and some sort of radius method, and this is far more easy. So now I've got my ring around it. I can use this now, and so I have this. So now I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and cut into it. For my Boy Scout days, I'd probably use my totem chip for this, for cutting towards myself. And this can be a bit of a bear as you run through it. It is kind of soft and flexible. Wow, this is tougher than I remember it was from the last time. Oh, there it goes. Do that, or there we go. I need to get myself another razor blade, which could also be half the problem. You can see what's going on here. All right. So I'll finish cutting this, and I will come back in a moment. Okay, and we're back, and I'm still working on it. Turns out you need, a sharp X-Acto knife to do this. It still is pretty tough, and you can see I'm about halfway through it. But once you get into it, and then I've got my fingers down in here, I give myself a good purchase on it, and then as I'm cutting away from it, this is kind of awkward to do so you can see it, but just following my line. I don't know how well this is coming across, but I'm just tracing this line here as I'm going around the way. And I'm opening this up so it's no longer pinching this as much as I can. In the beginning that was pretty tough, and that was one of the reasons why it was kind of slow when I first started it. Okay, this comes off. You can get rid of that. Some sort of foam that was on the inside of the ball. And anyway, so now you've got your cutout for your Jolly Ball. You can see where your hand would go in it. Gives you a nice cover. So the next piece that you do is there's a convenient place hole down in the bottom here. That's going to be where one of your holes is. And then there's the other side from that directly is this Jolly Ball. Okay, and so what I did was I took a drill bit and I drilled through the middle of it. The diameter of your hole is going to depend on how big your sticks are going to be using. Besides single stick, my group is also in a streamer group, and so we tend to use a slightly larger diameter rattan than a lot of other single stick groups seem to do, and so we use a bigger hole. Looking at my other ones, it looks like the last one I used was a 3/4 inch drill bit. Whatever size works for you. So this is my older ball. It's obviously been beat up a lot more. You can see the hole in it, and the hole would go here through this pre-existing hole, and then right down through the middle of the Jolly Ball. So that's the bottom, and that's the other side. As you look at that. Looks like the prints change over time. Now, and again, the tightness of this hole around your stick is going to depend on kind of what your safety standard is. Some groups like to have their stick slides, like if you were to thrust the basket to be able to slide. We don't really do that, so our balls, our sticks fit really tightly into this. So I'll just bring up one of my other examples. This is it on the single stick, right, just like that. And you can see how the hand fits into it. Obviously, this doesn't do sort of what the old basket does in terms of, coverage, but there's a lot of protection here. This is pretty solid. I mean, I could hit it and it will collapse, but you'll know it. Our group often does not wear gloves in here, or if it is, it's a pretty light glove. You're going to have a hard time fitting a big, like a lacrosse glove or something like that into it, or it's going to be really tight. We tend to either do no gloves and just forearm protection, or just gloves and use a little bit of control as we're going through it. So one thing that will happen as you're moving through this is that oftentimes this will want to work off the bottom of this. And being the cheap bastards that we are, we just wrapped some duct tape around the bottom and built up this, so there's no way it can slip off the end of it. So really simple stop at the end of it. We're just using simple rattan that you can get from a rattan supplier, and that's for our diameters. So that's all there is to it. Like I said, this was $11 on Amazon. When I do the thing, I'll do a link to the proper product, and so you guys can see what it looks like. Obviously this is quick, $12 free shipping if you're on Prime, and you can make 5 of these for the cheapest equivalent thing that you can get off of some of these other suppliers spots. So easy way to get you into the single stick game. We've really liked these. Great simple product to use, and again, I didn't come up with this. I'm just documenting it for people out there who are interested in getting into it and didn't quite know what this thing looked like. So hope that helped.